All right, you need to be on page 2 of your textbook. We're going to be looking at an excerpt of The Breadwinner. And in it, you will notice and note signposts that offer clues about the novel's setting and characters. Here are 3 key signposts to keep a lookout for as you read this excerpt and other works of fiction. So one of the great ways that an author can use to get your attention is words of the wiser. It can be easy to give advice, but much harder to take it. How do you feel when someone, especially someone older than you, makes a suggestion? Do you listen to the advice of the older or more experienced people in your life? When a wise character in a work of fiction offers advice or a solution to a problem, it's worth listening. As a reader, pay attention to the words of the wiser, because they can offer insight into the current dilemma and situation, help you make predictions about what happens next, reveal more about the main character, and hint at the theme or lessons of the story. So an example of this would be when Parvana's father talks to Mother about the fact that the Afghanistan's government is corrupt and having issues and the Taliban is taking over, and Mom is frustrated with him because she wanted to leave and flee Afghanistan when things started to go badly. But Dad says that they can't leave. It says, Father told Mother that the country would need educated people to rebuild the government. So those are he's a wise man, a wise father who has great ideas on how to help his country overcome the grip of the Taliban in his home. So you need to be highlighting what I've highlighted, making the notes that I make, because when you read the next chapter that's in this book, it has the next chapter to The Breadwinner, and you're going to need to read and have these notes for you later during your lessons. So I will pause the video. You can pause the video here in a minute and finish taking those notes. I'm going to move to the next side now. You will have time to go back and take notes. So the next one is the aha moment. It is when you realize that something has changed your understanding of yourself, others, and the world around you. In a story, an aha moment allows characters the chance to re-examine themselves and their world. A character experiencing an aha moment may change the way they feel about himself or others, or take a step toward solving a problem or reach a new understanding. So an example of that would be when Mother was depressed and in bed for days. The oldest girls, Parvana and Noria, had to take charge. Noria and Parvana started to rely on each other. Before that, they had continued to argue and fuss with one another. And then once they realized that they were responsible for taking care of Maryam and Ali, they really worked together to take care of one another, to hold their household together since Father was arrested and Mother was not getting out of bed. So that aha moment when Noria and Parvana realized they had to rely on one another was a big shift for their relationship. The next one is contrast and contradictions. So you will pay close attention to those as well. If a character says or does something you haven't expected, you should pay attention too. Contrasts and contradictions like these give you a deeper understanding of a character. If action and dialogue surprise you, take a minute to consider the meaning. So Noria hugged Parvana before she went with Mother to get Father from prison. That was a really unexpected action of Noria. Noria and Parvana generally fight and do not get along, and they're very hurtful, mean to one another. But in that instance, you can tell that Noria's feelings about the tragic times of her father being in prison and her mother being depressed that she realized this could be a real situation, that because of the Taliban's takeover, her sister might not come home. And that was a real fear of Nora's. So she hugged her before she left to go help mother get father from prison. These are examples of each of these type of signposts that we have come across as we've read in the book so far. You're going to see more of these in the chapters that you read in The Breadwinner. It's full of twists and turns and surprises and things you did not expect. So be sure to pay attention when things change unexpectedly.